So welcome back to the channel. In honor of the first month of the new school year, I've been making a few videos relating to my advice for college students, particularly undergrads maybe starting college for the first time in the United States. I've talked about how to estimate your overall workload based on the number of credits that you're taking. I've talked about how to email your professor. And today I'm going to be talking about finals week. Now, that might seem like it came out of nowhere, right? Because it is August and finals week isn't until December. So what am I even talking about? Here's the thing though. The key to a successful finals week starts right now. When I was working on my bachelor's degree, I have two college degrees. I have a bachelor's in French and a master's in library science that I finished a little bit over a year ago. Anyway, when I was working on my bachelor's degree, I often found that I was less stressed than some of my peers during finals week, and it wasn't hard to identify why. First of all, I usually had a pretty high grade going into finals week. I don't mean to brag by saying that. What I'm getting at is basically just that if you already have a strong grade in the class, an A or a B, you don't have to worry as much during finals week as someone who is struggling to maintain a C or is potentially in danger of failing the class. Even if the final is worth a significant portion of your grade, you have a cushion because of the work that you've put in ahead of time. And obviously you still want to do your best on the exam and keep your grade as high as you can get it. But going into finals week, knowing that you're not likely to fail and that you're just working to make your grades the best that they can be is a huge weight off of your shoulders compared to not being sure whether you're going to have to retake the class. The second thing that made finals week a lot easier, and I think that this is actually connected, is that I pretty much already knew a lot of the material going into finals week. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't study, but what it does mean is that I didn't have to relearn or learn for the first time the material that was covered over an entire semester. I was able to focus on mostly just reviewing and brushing up on things where maybe I hadn't been as confident in it the first time around. Sometimes it's tempting on a week-to-week basis to just put forth the effort to get in what needs to be turned in for the week, but then not really focus on really learning the material. But throughout the semester, if you're really putting thought into those weekly homework assignments, the ones that are maybe only worth a completion grade or a small percentage of your overall average, taking those activities seriously can help so much going into finals week, because if you learned what you needed to from them, then studying for the final isn't as stressful. Now, that's not to say that there were never classes that I was worried about during finals week or that I found it stressful to prepare for. And of course, finals week also comes along with final projects and research papers, which can be a lot of work packed into a small amount of time, no matter how well you're prepared for it. That can actually be something that works in your favor, though, because some classes will assign a final paper instead of a final exam, or will make it like a take-home final exam where you have a certain number of days to write a couple of essay questions or something. I always kind of liked those because I could work on them around the rest of my schedule and come back to revise them before I turned them in, which isn't usually possible for an in-class essay, which, you have an hour to write this essay in addition to answering all these multiple choice questions. But it does mean that you need to prepare for things other than just study sessions during finals week. In any case, I do have a video that's about tips for finals week in terms of how to handle it in the moment, the stress levels and managing time and things like that. And I will put a link to that. It'll be up here and also in the description. But really my number one tip for finals week is to start preparing from the beginning of the semester. Take every weekly assignment as seriously as you can, obviously keeping in mind your overall workload and schedule and that there may be other things you need to devote your time to as well. But try to understand each concept as you move through it. Try to learn what you need to from it. And then when you get to finals week, all you have to do is make sure that you understood correctly and review what you've already got. You don't have to go back to something that you kind of halfway made it through and now have to learn in time for the final, because that can build up and be a lot to cram into a small amount of time. Doing your best all semester helps so much to make finals week less stressful. I cannot emphasize it enough. your grade going into the final and the balance of how much you have to relearn, learn for the first time, or just review while you're studying makes such a huge difference. So now is the time to start working towards a less stressful finals week.